to sort out tourism in this area? You're coming up to the festive season. People want to come and travel here, but would they come in when they open the taps and it's got this yellow hue to the water? What solutions are in place to put paid to some of these issues in terms of short term?
You have three dams here in Kwakwa. You have Municipal, which is supplying a small population with water, which still has got sufficient water to supply people. Yeah. And then you have Pikapazo, which is supplying 85% of the population, and it is when dry, there's got less than 11% water. And then you have Sterkfontein, which is the biggest, is the third biggest in the country, which is supplying a small population, which is Blukambush and Kestel of Kwakwa. And that is where we want to put up a permanent solution. But for now, what we've done, we've put up JoJo's tanks per ward. We're supplying at least 5 tanks containing in the region of 50,000 liters. But we are also supplying clinics, hospitals, and the courts and the police stations with JoJo water. And the tanks are all over. The problem is that people are vandalizing the tanks, and others are vulnerable for people to can put in dirty things and everything, which is an interim measure. Secondly, we are also putting on boreholes, which is not necessarily a permanent solution. They say in Kwakwa it can take about 6 months for it to supply water, but at the moment the Department of Water and Sanitation have got 60 holes dug in the Kwakwa area. 5 of them have been resuscitated, are working. The 10 of them are in the next plan for them to work. That's why we're inviting almost everybody who can have an intervention to come and support the people, to come and support the community. However, what we are requesting is that people must use water sparingly.
Right.
Especially the one they find in the JoJo tank. I've brought in here some people whom we are requesting to bring wheelbarrows that has got a 5 liter, so that people can be able to carry that water easily. The only problem with the supply of the trucks that are coming to bring water is that there's no much discipline in it. That's why the team has been introducing other stringent measures.
The message, I guess, around the country will be use water sparingly, because we live in a water scarce country. I want to push you though, MEC, on some time frames with regards to when people open their taps here, they need to have clean, drinkable, clear water that they are satisfied that it's safe. When will this happen?
With the Pikapazo, you have a bigger problem. You would not have that in the next year or two, unless there's rain, unless people go to the mountain and pray, unless climate change decide otherwise, unless other means people have to request for rain to come, then we'll have a problem. Other than that, you have a long term, more than 5 years, to fetch water from Sterkfontein to Pikapazo and supply the bigger community. But also our strategy is that you must reduce the dependence on Pikapazo. You must have alternative other water supply so that you reduce the 90%. That's why we are putting boreholes as an immediate situation. But also we are trying to bridge other pipes that are coming from the Municipal and other pipes that are coming from Sterkfontein, so that you reduce the dependence. But we are building a pipe. We're constructing a camp from Sterkfontein that is going to be a permanent solution, which is not going to take less than 5 years period.
So, Nokusa, you're listening to what the MEC is saying. Look, there's no doubt that there are concerted efforts to clean up municipalities, especially this one. And I'm getting that from the MEC. But are you satisfied when the MEC says this could take about 1 to 2 years, even up to 5 years to sort out? How's that going to affect you?
It's affected me a lot, because since from the democracy, our municipality don't do nothing for farm dwellers or farmers. I want to ask this question. Which municipality are we falling under? If is it Maluta Pufung, what Maluta Pufung done for us since from the previous years? Drought is not started in this year. Long time ago, we are losing a lot of things, and we are losing a lot of people's life. When you'll see why the water will drink, you can't drink that water. It's muddy water.
Yeah. Pester, I mean, you've heard what the MEC is saying. What's your response to that?
Yeah, we hope if the MEC is true to his word, I mean, about the permanent solution of connecting Sterkfontein with Pikapazo, I think this will bring about a permanent solution to water. But the other thing that I wanted to raise, because the MEC has been advocating for for the payment of rates.
Yeah.
How do I pay rates? If we have to buy water, if we have to buy diesel for if we have to collect our own waste, how do we pay the rates to the municipality? It becomes a big problem.
This is an issue, MEC, with regards to a culture of non-payment on one hand, but to a large extent, you have a lot of people who A, can't afford it, and B, say, why should I be paying for these services when there's so much allegations of corruption and fraud, as well as irregular expenditure in municipalities?
Yeah. No, I think I'm happy that you raised that issue. It's close to my heart that people must pay for services, and of course, government must provide services. There has to be value for money, and we must balance that. That's why we are calling on all people to make their payment of their services to the best of their abilities. We know people unemployed, poverty has affected them. That's why government is providing the indigent policy. They must go out and register for indigent so that government can cover them. But there's no excuse for industries not to pay. There's no excuse for big business not to pay. There's no excuse for professionals not to pay. You might not receive all the services, but some of the services you are receiving, and some you have been receiving. That's why you live as a human being. However, we want refuse to be collected. We have made that undertaking under any uncertain terms. The issue of corruption and embezzlement of funds, people want to pay and they know that their money is safe. We accepted that, and that's why you would know even here in Malutiapofu, the president has signed already. There's an investigation undergoing, and the Hawks are also here trying to investigate. We are not mincing our weight when it comes to corruption. All corrupt people must be locked up. They don't belong in our community. They don't belong in our society. And obviously, they don't belong in our government. We need a clean government. We need a government that people can trust and depend on it. That's the message that we are creating.
Let me see, I'm fast running out of time. I'm told to wrap, but I just need to get in this one more question with regard to one of the other major problems is that municipalities are not servicing their debt in terms of ESCOM as well as water boards. That's one issue. The other issue is big business not paying the municipalities. Are you planning to cut services by any chance in terms of certain businesses not paying?
Definitely. With big businesses, with industries, with professionals, we're going to cut services. You can't keep on providing services.
Which areas?
When you have the industry areas here, you have the malls around here, and then you have professionals all over. You have doctors, you have teachers, you've got nurses. We have instituted, with Malutiapofu specifically, we are auditing all the meters. We have agreed with ESCOM that the large power users, 100 of them, the first of them would be taken to ESCOM so that we attend to the debt of ESCOM. And secondly, 20% of the collection of revenue here goes to ESCOM. So we have been adhering to that since we have instituted a new process of the municipality. And ESCOM is happy with that process. We are interacting with the Harry Smith Business Forum, which had issues and took us to court. We are finding each other. So we are settling and trying to stabilize the situation. Politically, the municipality is stable, and administrative is also stable. What we want to do is to get it rolling and get it moving. The turnaround strategy we have in place, we are pleased that everybody is adhering to it and the community is responding positive, and that gives us confidence and a mood to move forward.
Because there's big numbers that's throwing around. You have a debt to ESCOM of 4 billion? Correct?
It's true.
So that's huge issues. Look, we've got so much to talk about, so little time, but stick around. Look, we will get more insight in terms of trying to push forward for solutions as well. So, but we will chat in the near future. Thank you very much indeed for coming through and explaining the situation. Desiree, look, I had to get through a number of issues, and there's still so much to discuss here in the Free State. We're going to bring in more guests as the day progresses and try to get to the bottom of this, the root causes of some of the issues that this municipality and others in the Free State are facing. For now, it's back to you.